Final race up over the extended mile here, 16.50 the trip for race set number 8. It's a Class 3 contest headed by Don't Miss, who's first up, 4 from 7 over the 16.50 so far. Irish Fager gets the blinkers and the tongue tie on. Sleep Education take the blinkers off. Arcala first start for Tony Millard, all kinds of gear changes going on with him. Good Beauty third first up over the 1400 metres up in trip. Right Honourable up in class for his last start course and distance win. Happy Spirit, a 3-time course and distance winner, down to Planet Star. Barrier 11 for him, but he has rolled forward in the past. Now, as far as Chungfar is concerned, Everest has been north of the border, came back on the 28th of September. All right, we're back at the touchscreen to have a look at the speed map here for the last Brett. And so Don't Miss, this was his MO last season, get out, get rolling. It worked well for him. No reason to change, I suppose.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Planet Star going in first up, may roll forward. We saw Happy Spirit attempt to try and get to his front position, but took a little bit of time. He had to sit third and fourth and then eventually worked around them. Everest has actually won a trial up at Chunfar and potentially will try and hold a forward spot. Of the others, Mr. Monty, it's worth pointing him out. His form on the trial tracks and in the morning doesn't look that good, but he is a horse in the past that has gone to the lead and rolled forward. I tend to think the way he's going, they probably won't take that option, but it's worth pointing out. Yep,
he's certainly been prominent in the past. Goes well at the Valley. Clues from you from track work, Paul?
Yeah, well, we'll start with Don't Miss because he's likely to come up as one of the favourites. You can see him doing it nicely there with a split of a second. Now, Don't Miss, that's him on the inside 17. He's going away from split of a second. So nice piece of work. He's pretty keen, you can see, to carry on. This split of a second did pull away at the end. Sleep Education's another little chap that does go nice enough. Still a maiden that... since he's come here, but he's had 3 placings, and of those placings, one of them's been here at Happy Valley. And Planet Star, I think he's quite forward for this race. He's 16.50, his body weight's spot on from his winning weight, and he should be able to get across and sit outside Don't Miss or sit him behind him. So he should get a good run.
Yeah, we'll have a look at him in trial form in a moment or so, Planet Star. Let's start off with the last start course and distance winner, though, Right Honourable with Zach Burton.
Zach, Right Honourable, good win from him last time.
It was, you know, he drew a nice enough gate. He had the tempo to suit. Everything fell into place for him that night, and he was obviously able to go and do it in good fashion, but he's a type of horse that can be quite inconsistent, and whether he's going to reproduce that again, we'll just have to wait and see. But he's drawn the right gate to give himself the chance to do that.
Nord from 14 in this class. Do you feel, though, he's up to this level?
It's obviously a concerning stat. It's something to worry about. You know, he's a horse that does go well fresh, and he is obviously early in his preparation, and hopefully this is the right time for him to show us his best in the grade.
It is obviously a worrying stat, if you want to use that word, but there was a bit of dominance about that win, wasn't there?
There was. I'm going to give him the opportunity to, you know, put another win on the board in this class. I thought there was a bit of dominance in the final stages. He did get all the favours throughout the run, but I think he'll probably, obviously, ideally be trying to ride in the same again, and it's not an overly strong Class 3, and there's a few that have won a bit and got high on the rating, so on top for me.
Consistency is the key, I think. If he puts it all together again, then sure. I've got him in on a minor line.
All right, certainly one to consider then. Let's have a look at a few more in action. Don't Miss, who could well be very prominent as far as the speed map is concerned. Let's have a look at him in action, in that position, out in front at this stage. The other horses, though, to take note of in this race were Sleep Education, who's just getting a little bit of cover at this stage. The Judge further out, and the other one is Happy Spirit, who's tucked in between the two of them.
Happy Spirit was my long shot in his last start. I thought he ran well. He finished where most good long shots do, in 4th. If he can find the front and get rolling, that's his best chance. They've put the blinkers on one time for Sleep Education and they've come off. So I'm a little bit perplexed about that. And Don't Miss is in the category I mentioned. He had an outstanding breakthrough season last time in, winning 4 from 9, 3 minors. How much more in the tank? How many more rating points left for him? He's going in first up as well.
Track work's been good for Don't Miss. I've got him in for second. I think he can run okay. The Judge, interesting because Zach Purden not riding.
Yeah.
OK, we'll keep an eye on
He's
the
up to the
market.
right distance, though.
It's early favourite at this stage as well. A couple more to make a check on, or take a check on, I should say. Good Beauty is the next one we see. This is over the 1,400 metres at Chartin, takes the step up and trip. The horse in front of him, high volatility. It was a huge run at massive odds.
It was. He ran a couple of OK races behind Cruising and Super Rich at the end of last season. And then the 8th behind Winston's Lad, I thought had some merit. He was wide, had a torrid trip, and he chased pretty hard here behind high volatility. I think 14 to 1650 is a positive, because you can see there he looks like a bit of extra distance won't go astray.
He's by hard spun, so he's got a bit of a dirt pedigree as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they do try him on that surface as well. Happy Valley for the first time might suit him.
Yep, I think there's plenty of positives as far as Good Beauty is concerned. That's Green Energy flashing home down the outside for the win on that occasion. This is Chung Fa. We touched on this looking at the speed map. And Everest, who's been up there for a freshen up. And we'll find out if he's done any good or not.
Worth noting that his last 3 race starts, Everest, he's led on every occasion. And you can see here in this trial that he's right up there doing it from the front, and goes on to win this trial. Dylan Moe actually travelled to Chun Fa, rode him in this trial. He will ride him on race day. He's never ridden him before. Tongue Tie goes back on. 1-3 from 19, 6 minors. How much more rating points in hand? That's the big question. I think, as we looked at in the speed map, Gate 5 gives him the opportunity to get a great run.
Yeah, he's been placed once in his first up run before. So, yeah, he's done everything right up there.
All right, so one to throw into the mix. And then the last one to have a look at is Planet Star, who's covered a little bit of ground here. And he might have to potentially do the same, I suppose, from his wide gate.
Well, he's drawn 11 and you've got Don't Miss drawn 10. So I think he can get across quite easily, because I think they'll float across together, Don't Miss and Planet Star. And if Don't Miss wants to take off, because he's a real speedster, he can just sit him behind him or sit outside him. It's interesting, Paul O'Sullivan putting him up first up over 1,650 metres. He's done enough work, his body weight spot on. He's going to be my long shot. I think he can run a race.
Always a little concerned about Paul O'Sullivan's first up. They often need a run, but as Paul's mentioned, his track work's good. I think he's had a couple of trials. He's got to lift the bar a little bit, but he does give the potential, or the feeling that potentially he can. All
right, so Planet Star's in, Paul. Who else makes the top 4?
Yeah, I'm going to put him on top. I think he's going to come up with he does come up with a lightweight, and I think he can get across easy enough. And that wide barrier drill might put a few people off. It doesn't put me off. So I think they can dominate from the front. Planet Star to beat, Don't Miss. Right Honourable, if he can put 2 together, then he'll be in it, but he hasn't in the past. And Sleep Education, I think, can run on nicely for 4. So 12, 1, 9 and 4.
For me, I'm going to go with Right Honourable, give him the opportunity to win in this class. It was a dominant performance first up. Barrier 1, less weight to carry, obviously tougher opposition. Good Beauty, I think, is a nice enough 4-year-old heading forward. Don't Miss, it's hard to leave him out with his form line, but I just wonder, although he's got the claim, he's got a wide barrier, goes in first up, and he did climb a long way in the ratings last season. And then the bottom 3 all create a little bit of interest, but I put in the Judge. I think this is his trip. He's dangerous down there off that lightish type of weight, and has a nice little barrier to boot as well. So 9, 7, 1, 10. Excellent.
Good Beauty for me. I think he's an excellent each-way price at the moment with the step up in trip. Now, stats. Only one man to focus on, I suppose, after his 5-timer on the weekend. That's Karis Teetenpool.
Yeah, and we can see, have a look here. He's his first 3 rate this season compared to last season is what we're comparing here. 39% versus 29.9, and his actual win rate is 16% this season. It was only 8% at the same time last season. So he's in great form, and funny enough, he's on my long shot here in the last Planet Star. I think he can just float across and get outside the leader, and that's his winner I've got. He's got a few others during the night, but Planet Star, funny enough.
It's amazing how that lines up sometimes, isn't it? So he's the long shot. Who's the best bet?
Yeah, the planets have lined up, haven't they? I'm going to go with Mr. Right, straight to the front. Catch Me If You Can, and I think he can hold on and win. He's well rated. And Planet Star, I've already stated the case for him with Karis Teeton aboard. As far as the play is concerned, I'm going to go with Mr. Right, because the main danger obviously is Victory Power, and I thought Fame and Fortune, if you do the QQPs, he can add a lot of value to that. So 2, 5 and 8.
Applause for me, race 5, number 12. I think if Matthew Chadwick can have him sort of midfield, he's hitting the line well now with Jimmy Ting. This is a very winnable race for him, I think. 5, 12, Applause. And race 6, number 9, Game Player Emperor. I think he's a horse that will improve this season. Nice enough youngster overseas. 5, 8, 9 is the play, the QQP. in race 6, and that does include game player Emperor My Long Shot.
All right, and that horse, Jade Theatre, in your QQP, is on top for me. I think he's very well placed here in the 6th race. 6, number 5, Jade Theatre. My Long Shot comes up in the last as well. We saw him there. Good Beauty, stepping up in trip. Ideal, I think. Umberto Rispoli in the saddle, winning form on the weekend. And the play in the last, Sleep Education, Good Beauty, and Right Honourable. QQP is where to play it. That's about it. Back on Saturday, though, gents, and 3 all-weather races as well.
Yeah, there's a little bit for the dirt fans on Saturday with a quick backup, so study up.
Yeah, and just looking at the entries quickly, you got pick number 1 versus Ugly Warrior, so that's always going to be a good contest because they're both top dirt horses, as we know.
Certainly are. Looking forward to that. But that's the show. Thanks for watching. On behalf of Paul, Brett, and the rest of the team, hopefully we'll see it shut in Happy Valley on Wednesday night when we will be racing to win.
Good night.
Good night.